Hola amigos! Welcome back to the Code Diary. Upgrading a framework to a major version is always stressful, especially when your project is running in Docker and relies on a bunch of external bundles like Doctrine, EasyAdmin, and Webpack and Core. Golden rule of Upgrade Symfony is never jump across a major version directly. We don't go from 7.3 straight to 8.1. First, we upgrade to the latest minor version of a current branch, like 7.4. Clean up absolutely all deprecations and only then we jump to the version 8. By the way, if you are breaking from a much older version, say from Symfony 4 to 8, the same rule applies. You step up to the latest minor of version 4, then jump to 5. Fix things, go to the last minor of version 5, and so on. At every step, make sure to test your minor forms and run your test suite so you can catch and fix the bugs immediately. And today I'm going to show you the entire journey on a real project completed with bugs, composer conflicts, cloud AI debugging, static analytics, and the final deployment. So, step 1 is system requirements. Symfony 8.1 requires PHP 8.4 or higher. So we go into our Docker configs, change the base image to PHP 8.4 and rebuild the containers. But after the rebuild, the console still shows the old version. This is classic local development trap. If you have separate Docker files for prod and dev environments, remember that your local Docker compose is looking at Docker file dev. We fix the version in the dev file, rebuild. Now let's pull up to Symfony 7.4. I asked Claude for a quick upgrade command and it suggested installing the Symfony/Symfony meta package. We run it and catch a ton of conflicts. Why? Because modern Symfony projects are built from independent components, not a single monolithic package. Let's do it the right way. We open composer.json, change the version of all Symfony components from 7.3 to 7.4 and run composer update Symfony this command on your screen. Our dependencies are successfully updated. Quick editor's note. There are a lot of terminal commands and configs in this upgrade. If you don't want to pause the video and type all those commands manually, I've packed this entire step-by-step process into a handy PDF cheat sheet. So you can grab it for just $1 on my Buy Me a Coffee link, is in the description. Alright, back to the code. Why did we even bother stopping at 7.4? For the deprecation stuff in the web profiler, anything marked as deprecated in 7.4 will simply crash with a fatal error in version 8. We open the profile, look at the deprecated services or method calls, feed them to Claude, and fix them one by one. If you have unit and functional tests, definitely run PHP unit. Finally, we do a sanity check on the container from the console. Clean. Now the code is ready for the major jump. To avoid rewriting tons of syntaxes manually, we bring in Rector, a tool for automated PHP code analysis and upgrading to new language and framework standards. Always run it in safe mode first using the dry run flag. It shows you a diff of changes. If everything looks good, run the command without the flag to apply them to your project. Time for the main event, upgrading to Symfony 8.1. Don't forget to add the PHP 8.3 polyfill to the replace section, change the Symfony components to 8.1 and try to update. And here begins classic dependency hell. Symfony Doctrine Messenger 8.1 strictly requires Doctrine DBLA version 4, but we are locked to version 3. The Doctrine bundles themselves in composer.log are locked to older minor version that know nothing about Symfony 8. We widen the constraints for the Doctrine bundles to allow compatible versions and run a full update with -w flag. If Composer flat out refuses to install a package, use the Composer why not command. It gives you a clean tree for the blocking dependencies. Packages are installed, but don't celebrate yet. The very first attempt to clear the cache throws a fatal configuration error. Doctrine ORM 3 and DBLA 4 removed all backward compatibility flags. We go onto doctrine.yaml and rip out use save points, auto-generate proxy classes, and wrapped fields were declared. In version 3, this behavior is baked in by default. We run the cache clear again and the container compiles successfully. Now we return to Rector. Since we bump up to 8.1 and PHP 8.4, we need to update our Rector PHP config. We use the withComposer-based method. Rector will automatically read packages version from composer.json and apply the latest migration rules for Symfony 8 and Doctrine ORM 3. We do a dry run, check the diff, and apply. To make sure your types haven't broken anywhere, we run PHPStan. Make sure to use the flag --memory--limit. On the ACT person will eat your default 128 megabit limit. We catch 22 errors. First, we pull in the official PHPStan doctrine and PHPStan Symfony extensions so the analyzer understands our entities and dependency injection. We format the remaining errors and feed them to Claude. It helps us quickly write generics for easy admin controllers, collection types, and save DOM element checks in Twig. We return PHPStan and get a clean green report to the database. We check the mapping validity with Doctrine schema validate. The mapping is valid, but the database isn't in sync because Doctrine ORM 3 changed some platform default indexes. We generate a migration using migrations diff. Always review the generated SQL with your own eyes to ensure it's not randomly dropping columns or tables. We execute the migration locally, validate again, and now the database and code are 100% in sync. Before committing, we run Symfony's built-in linters for our containers, Twig templates, YAML configs, and routes. Next, we simulate a production build by compiling Webpack and core and clearing the prod cache. And here pop-ups the final trap. In our prod doctrine YAML file, an old proxy_dir parameter was left over, which no longer exists in ORM 3. We delete it, rerun the warm-up, and our prod environment compiles flawlessly. Before we push anything to production, we need a strict final checklist and most importantly a rollback runbook. I always run these slightly shorted but critical checks. Composer check platform regs and Composer audit to guarantee server compatibility and check for vulnerabilities. Verify the schema again, test migration on a copy of the prod database and check custom doctrine types. Ensure in-flight Messenger messages can be deserialized by the new code and prep to restart workers post-deploy. Check security.yaml for compatibility and remember that active user session might be invalidated. Finally, prep to clear external caches like Redis or Apache so the old format objects don't crash the new app. most important rule of DevOps. The rollback plan is created before the first byte of new code hits the server. Here is the exact order I follow. Tag your current prod state in Git by this command. If you deploy via Docker, save a tag of your current working image on the server so it doesn't get overwritten by latest using this command. A quick interruption before we dive into the rollback runbook. Having this exact rollback commands on hand is an absolutely lifesaver when production goes down. If you want this whole survival guide as a cheat sheet to keep on your desktop, I left a link in the description where you can download it for just 99 cents. No pressure, just there if you need it. Now let's secure on deployment. Check this by running Docker images to ensure both stacks exist with the same image ID. Finally, take a full physical DB dump right before migrating. Do not rely solely on migration down methods. And this is one of the commands. Near the P flag, you need to put your password. Make sure the file actually wrote successfully and isn't 0 bytes. Check the down method in your new migrations via dry run flag. If rolling back via migration isn't possible, like if data was dropped, you only save passes restoring from that SQL dump we just made. If you deploy Symfony 8 and get hit with critical 500 errors, here's the Runbook. Stop your queue workers. Roll back the code. Either git checkout or switch your docker-compose YAML image back to your backup image and run docker compose up -d. Roll back the DB schema via migration or by restoring the dump. Clean and war up the Symfony 7 prod cache. Clear Redis so Symfony 7 doesn't choke on Symfony 8 serialized objects. And restart PHP and your workers. With our safety net in place, it's time for the final step. We check git status, commit and push to main. Our CI/CD pipeline in GitHub Actions picks up the changes, rebuilds the Docker PHP images, automatically applies the fresh migrations and warm-ups the cache. Is successfully updated to Symfony 8.1 and PHP 8.4 without a single second of downtimes. If this video saved your headache, hit the like button, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and thank you everyone who already subscribed. And let me know in the comments which version of Symfony you are currently upgrading from. See you next time on the Code Diary.